Thank you for giving us a prayer that we can make our own. So if you know the prayer that Jesus taught his first followers, let's unite our hearts and our voices as we pray, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and power, and glory forever. Amen. Well, we come now to a time of sharing, and we obviously have too many great memories to share them all now. And I know that for some of us it's hard to be here because of the suddenness and unexpectedness of Steve's passing, of this occasion, much less to think of saying anything. But it may be helpful and a blessing for us and for those who are here, especially Steve's family, to hear some positive, uplifting memories shared.
For y'all that know me, you know how much I love my dad. In my eyes, he could do no wrong. This was also similar to his eyes, where if he was wrong, he would change a rule and then take it. Call that Hauptman and Hauptman, carry it out. But I've been thinking about my dad over the past week. There's been a lot of really good memories, and it's kind of how I've found some strength to kind of get through everything so far. And I found a lot of comfort in the Steve stories. And there have been three consistencies that I've heard in a lot of these stories. Everyone always talks about the grand purpose in life and how it can be so hard to find your purpose and how to be happy. I think my dad had it all figured out. His life and actions boiled down to three major pillars that he focused his energy and love. Building a loving family, helping others, and enjoying every single day that he had on this earth. I think everyone here has a story where he helped you out. Whether it was helping somebody find a job, or helping with your resume, or showing off the snowblower and getting the snow off the neighbor's house. Or just made you laugh. My dad was there for people. He was there for me, and I know he was there for a lot of other people here. He has a beautiful wife, my mom, Kim. He loved her so much, and in his words, I swear he said this all the time, every day is Mother's Day. And two sons that unfortunately we got his looks instead of my mom's. He was an awesome father, and he was with us every step of the way of my life. I know I wouldn't be here without him where I am today. Second, he had a major impact on the Leesburg community. He founded the high school CLDL League. He started the annual turkey trot league, and he just lent a helping hand in the way that he could. And the final pillar, I can't tell you how many times my mom and dad told me every day felt like a vacation for them. They loved life every day together. I stand here as a 26-year-old man, saying goodbye to my dad, 56 years old, taken way too soon. I'm not sure why God took him away, but it could be because he just had life figured out way too quick. He found his sense of purpose and he truly lived it every single day. I'm honored to call my dad, Big Steve, the commissioner, my dad. I know for a fact that I'd be running today without my family that my dad worked so hard to build. I have the privilege to continue to carry Spirit with me every single day. I think we all have a part of Steve with us for the rest of our lives. My dad was my best friend, and I will always miss him. Much love, Pops.
I think Garrett, Mike, and Brian are going to come up together and share. And Bruce. His brother Bruce.
I called Steve at work one day. He answered the phone, very businesslike. Hauptman. Kind of like it's the middle of the day. Are you in the middle of something? He goes, no, but I wish I was in the middle of something. Today, so many people are here, and Steve is in the middle of all of us again. It's where he should naturally be, surrounded by the people that loved him and that he touched and whose lives he touched. So I want to hear from all of you, the crazy stories, the things he did. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Riendo, and I've had the privilege and the pleasure of being in Steve's circle of friends since 1982. When we first met, we were fresh out of college, and in our first big boy jobs as sales reps for AT&T. My earliest memory of Steve was that when it came to business attire, he favored short-sleeve shirts and clip-on ties. Something our bosses at AT&T quickly corrected. But I also remember immediately concluding that this is a guy you'd want to spend some time with. Time went by and we stayed in touch long distance, and then a couple years later we found ourselves questioning our career choices and trying to figure out what did we really want to do with life when we grew up. So we did what any sane and rational person would do in that situation. We quit our jobs, sold our belongings, bought a van, and headed out on a road trip. Our somewhat hazy goals were to find ourselves, see the country, catch a few fish, and maybe drink a beer or two. So our 3.5-month odyssey took us to 23 states and 2 countries. We saw Pete Rose hit $2 in a game in Cincinnati. We camped in the Badlands of South Dakota. We saw the first snowfall this season in Yellowstone. Gambled in Winnemucca, Nevada. Surfed in California. Drove through the Redwood Forest. Bought contraband in Mexico. Lived behind Sloppy Joe's and Scuba Dove in Key West. Saw the Skins beat the Buccaneers in Tampa, and a whole lot more. And while we did see the country, we did catch some fish, and we did drink a beer or two. Personally, I never did find myself. But what I did find is someone who would become, with the exception of my wife Judy, my best friend and closest confidant for the next 32 years. Steve Hauptman meant so much to so many people, but I'll just share 3 impressions that he left me with over the time that I was blessed to know him. And I think you'll hear these repeated throughout today. First, Steve loved Kim more than anything in the world. On our van trip, we had a lot of time to talk. And Steve talked a lot about this girl named Kim back in Richmond. He revealed to me that she was the one he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. I remember overseeing a letter he'd written to Kim during that trip, telling her the thing he missed most was spending Sunday mornings with her, sharing breakfast in bed, and reading the Sunday papers. Maybe your parents didn't realize that. Secondly, and you heard this from James, Steve was absolutely devoted to his sons. On our frequent hunting and fishing excursions, Steve talked constantly of his hopes and dreams for Ryan and James. He spoke of his doubts and insecurities as a parent, and he spoke of his pride as the boys grew into the fine young men they become today. Finally, Steve was the kind of guy who knew the value of friendship. Steve cared so deeply for so many people, and his circle of friends is amazing. He was the must-have guy whenever we were planning any excursion. He was the one person for whom we moved the date of the event to ensure he could make it. He was the guy who would take time to sit one-on-one with everyone involved, listen with genuine interest to what was happening in their lives. He's always been there when you needed advice or a sounding board on any life decision, including really important ones like whether or not to cover the spread of the Skins game. Singer-songwriter Jason Isbell penned this lyric. He said, "A man is a collection of all the people he's ever loved." And if that's true, that a man is a collection of all the people he's loved, and of all the people who loved him, Steve's a collection no museum in the world is large enough to hold. Like all of us, I'm going to miss Steve a lot, but I know he's in heaven right now, setting up the sound system, creating the playlist, and raking the horseshoe pits in anticipation of our ride.
Steve certainly had a way of bringing people together, didn't he? Looking out over all these people here, obviously Steve has touched all of our lives. Thanks, Brian. And a hello to all of you. I'm Mike Mitchell, and I've had the a long time. How do you sum up the life of Steve in such a short amount of time I have before you? I could tell you some stories, but that I think would be inadequate. To be honest, I really didn't know how to approach this moment. All the times, all the memories, how do you pick and choose? As some of you may know, we love to go on hunting and fishing trips. These were special times, always over the top, like way over the top. I was thinking how thankful I am to know Steve and all the reasons why, so please bear with me. I want to give you some of my personal reasons for I am thankful for Brother Steve. Steve, thank you for always thinking about the music. Steve is the only guy I know who could show up for a hunting trip with a pallet of speakers in the back of his truck. He needed a forklift to move. And no lie, 70 yards, 75 yards of coaxial speaker cable, 100 yards of extension cord, an outdoor generator, more than 3,000 songs on the playlist, and forget his shotgun. Oh, thank you, Steve, for being the mixologist in chief. Steve's breakfast buddies were always the best, and his blue cheese martinis were absolutely fantastic. Steve, thank you for not complaining too much after having to spend all day in the freezing cold wearing wet, stinking waders that had been filled with beer. Yeah, Steve, it was me. I did it, but you started it. Garrett, I told him it was you. I convinced him that it was you. Everybody here knows Steve, and he would never let you know when you got the best of him. Patrick Riendo, are you here, Patrick? Raise your hand. Stand up for a second. Thank you, Steve, for agreeing with me in epic arguments number 147 and 18 that Patrick never owned a pontoon boat. Pat, you never had that pontoon boat. Pat would tell us every year that I'm bringing my pontoon boat, but he never showed up with his boat, and 9 years on, we called BS on it. And Brian, please don't laugh. You should be saying thank you to Steve for forgiving you and your brothers after you guys pulled all his wooden outdoor patio furniture, put it into a pile, and burned it. I'm convinced there was no alcohol involved. Steve, thank you for helping me find Winnemucca, Nevada on a map. If you were wondering why Winnemucca is so significant, ask Brian. It goes back to their band trip that we heard about. And thank you for your love of politics. Anyone who knows Steve knew that he loved politics. The arguments we all got in with Steve are legendary. In fact, when he was in the hospital, he would whisper to me, and I had to bend over and listen very closely. He can't win. He just can't win. And I thought he was talking about like the Skins or, you know. I said, who, Steve? Who? Donald Trump. He just can't win. I think it was James who went out and bought him a Hillary Clinton t-shirt, Ryan. Bought him a Hillary Clinton t-shirt that was hung in his room, and he even made the boys get him an absentee ballot. So that's how he was devoted to doing the right thing. And I want to thank you, Steve, for calling me on Wednesdays when the weather was beautiful, asking me what I was doing, and telling me, what do you think I'm doing? I'm at work. This would be followed by the sound of a beer tap pop, and Steve getting great joy in telling me he was 6 beers in on the 4th hole. We took great pleasure trashing Brian and Garrett, and I know when he talked to you two guys that you were doing the same to me. I'm going to miss those calls. And thank you, Steve, for helping me remember that a voice, a phone call, is always better than a text. And thank you, Steve, for showing me that where there's a will, there's a way. You just need the will. When Steve wanted a basketball league for his kids to play in, he started one, and he coached kids. And to this day, there are hundreds out there that are able to play basketball because of what Steve created. And that also goes for football. Steve realized he was not going to buy the Washington Redskins. He started a fantasy football league and became commissioner. Take that, Dan Snyder. And thank you for your ability to make everyone a friend. Steve could talk with anyone, and I mean anyone, and the best part was that even strangers considered Steve like a best friend 15 minutes after meeting with him. The guy could talk to a wall, and the wall would answer back. And thank you, Steve, for showing me the meaning of courage. You fought hard for so long, you never complained, and you never asked why. And I'm humbled. Thank you, Steve, for Kim, Ryan, and James. Through your life, they were and remain your great joy. Through your illness, there were so many times when I felt knocked to my knees, and I drew strength from watching their love, faith, and resolve. I know Ryan and James will go and share all that is good about you with others, and that's a wonderful tribute. We all have our own personal reasons to be thankful for Steve. His life, a life cut way too short, should serve as an example to us. You know, we should not remember how Steve died, but we should never ever forget how Steve lived. And oh, how he lived. So, think about taking time out to call someone, to help a child, to make someone laugh and smile, to care about others, to do something for someone you don't know. We can do these things in ways large and small, and when we do, we will be honoring and remembering our great good friend Steve. And you just know, everybody here knows, that right now, right, in heaven, speakers are set up, lawn chairs are out, music is getting cranked up, beers are getting iced down, martinis are being mixed, because Steve Hauptman is in the house.
My name is Garrett Cook. I had the very good fortune of getting to know Steve as a neighbor when I moved in across the street over 10 years ago. At that time I was pushing 40. I was starting a young family, a really busy job, and I thought I was kind of done for at least a little while making friends. And I was wrong. Because Steve would go away and say, I was always loitering around my yard. And as a result, I really began a connection with him over that time. We just couldn't help to do that with Steve. You know, I learned over time that we shared a real love for music, a love for the outdoors, that we had gone to the same high school a few years apart. And that we were both absolutely horrific golfers. So armed with that information, Steve immediately tried to get me into a golf league where we could compete. And so that's a league that I participated in with neighbors for years, that we played and competed and laughed. He ultimately allowed me into a timeshare deal, into a fantasy football team in the league that he was known simply as the commissioner. So when Steve organized a group, the competition almost began immediately, because to him, if you weren't competing, you just weren't playing the game. And that was very much a part of the whole thing for him. Steve and I grew closer over the years and ultimately began sneaking to shop for vinyl records. We did that a lot more than either my wife Erica or Kim ever knew. It was a great time. He would try to convince me to buy bad 70s Southern rock albums, and I would try to convince him that jam bands from the 90s had no substance. And we never convinced never convinced ourselves of anything, but it was a lot of fun trying. He invited me along to meet great friends on hunting, and fishing trips, and music festivals, and concerts. And through all that, I knew I had arrived with Steve's close friend when he made me my first custom CD. Steve would curate these CDs painstakingly. I didn't know exactly how to take it at first. When the last time I received a mixtape, it was from maybe Bad 80s hair metal band. I think the girl and I were 16. So you can imagine my concern with the guy next door and my first mixtape in 30 years. But you see, Steve did that for all of his friends on an adventure. And he really wanted us to share. share experience and connect with one another. And he wanted to make sure we had a killer soundtrack, and we did. That's what I'll remember most about Steve, is the work that he put into bringing all of us together. And the relationships that I have today is a direct result of him. He really cared about the outcome for us, as people and as professionals, as sons, and I know he cared deeply about his wife, Kim, and his family and his community. And Steve taught me that it's never too late to make really great friends. I'm left to wonder if I'll make it better than our friend Steve. Thank you.
If there's anyone else that would like to come up, please do. More than welcome. Thank you.
Tom Welsh. I worked with Steve for a number of years, a lot of years, really at Siemens. And to Kim, James, and Ryan, this was out of my deepest condolences. I gasped when I heard this news. So Steve bought me this Phillies jersey like 7 or 8 years ago. And I am a big Philadelphia fan. Love the Eagles, love the Phillies. He did not like Philadelphia. He liked the Redskins and, of course, the Nats. So I love this jersey. However, even when I first saw it, I kept thinking, where am I going to wear something like this around Washington? So, of course, Steve had some ideas on this note that he had in here on where I should wear it. First of all, he said you can wear it wherever. You can wear it down to RFK at the time, see the Nats game, and you can roam with the fans. That probably is not someplace that I want to. Then he said you can wear it out in your yard and mulch. Now, that's another bad idea. This is a classic jersey that I would never wear mulching. So here's what I honestly could never find an occasion ever to wear this. So I thought maybe I'd put it on today. Let the heat have that. And I think this is the right piece. This is where we're at. So it's 1989 or 1990, and I need a sales manager to come work for Siemens in Somerset, New Jersey. So I asked my boss, I said, what do you got? He said, well, the best guy out there is Steve Hauptman. But if you want him, you're going to have to go get him, because I'm not going to tell him he needs to do anything. He's the best guy. So with that, I said, okay. So I did my homework. I called up a couple of his buddies to find out what he was like, and I learned like you all, he's very smart, aggressive. He could sell like nobody could sell. Very thorough. So I'm ready for the call. It's going to be a phone call. So I'm going through the typical things like how much money can you expect to make, who's going to be on his team, who are the customers, what do I expect, what are the challenges, and he's really not giving me much feedback. As a matter of fact, he's not saying anything at all. But he is taking notes. I can hear him taking notes. And I also think he was taking. He's thorough, and he's going to check things out before he does anything. He only had one question, and this is the first zinger question he fired at me. Like many others over the years, very penetrating. He said, that job you just described, I can do that job anyway. Why do I want to do that in Somerset, New Jersey? I was speechless. I don't know how to respond. Somerset, New Jersey is northern Jersey. He at the time, I think maybe you were down in Richmond. But he came, and he did that job, and he lived it up. He was he did a great job. Now there was a lot of other power in this particular office, and shortly thereafter I got promoted. So I'm saying my goodbyes to everybody in the branch of reception, and he comes up and he nudges me and he says, "You got a minute?" I said, "Sure." So we walk back to his office, and he closes the door. He says, "What's going on?"
When James went into 8th grade, even though I had no knowledge of basketball, I had zero knowledge of basketball, Big Steve taught me into being his assistant coach for the Kings. This was his passion. And that was the 8th grade year that you guys were, and they were very, very competitive, and I knew it was going to be a fun journey. Steve was truly in his element when he was out there coaching. His magnetism, his energy, energized everyone else around him. He had this total enthusiasm that the entire team just, you could tell, was energized by his style of coaching. When James became a senior, Steve coached the Kings to an undefeated season all the way to the championship. I think some rules were rewritten to make that happen. It was a very large trophy, as I recall it, and I believe he picked it up personally. And it was a very happy season. It was during this season that Steve and I made a life-changing decision together. I can still see the moment when we were standing in the middle of this basketball court. Steve had this left-handed, we're shooting free throws while the team was warming up on the other end. Steve and I at that moment made a decision that we were going to work together at a company called Fozzie. And Steve had left Siemens. He was working for a company called Riverbed. They were doing network appliances for massive data compression across the network. Fascinating stuff, and he said he was ready to try something new. We were going to work together in Fozzie. Siemens, Riverbed over here, Fozzie's in the intelligence community over here, vastly different. What was amazing is this was a decision that changed my life, and it was all for the good. It was amazing to come to work for the next 4 years every morning and see Steve there. We had a meeting every morning before I went off to do whatever I do in the Intel community. Steve ran the entire office for Fozzie with my wife, and it was amazing to have those meetings every morning at 9 o'clock. Big Steve would have a plan. And the best things I loved about working with Steve for those 4 years was that Steve had the brightest business mind I've ever worked with. He was incredible in connecting the dots. And if the dots didn't exist, it was up to Steve to build the dots and then connect it. He was amazing with his business savviness, and couldn't have done Fozzie the way we did without it. Steve also was extremely organized. He was always taking notes. Oh my goodness. Again, we were in the intelligence community, which Steve was brand new into. He took notes, and 100 pages later and 6 months later, Steve knew the intelligence community better than I did. It was amazing. And Steve was also a listener. That's the one thing I always loved about Steve, is he could listen. He had the respect and empathy for everyone around him, and everyone just loved working with Steve. His involvement with organizations like what used to be Interfaith Relief, now I think is Loud Hunger, and Mobile Hope, and all those organizations just tells you how much empathy he has and how important it was to help others as his priority in life. It was always very touching to me. I learned so much from Steve, and for that and for his life, I'm very thankful. Steve was passionate about everything in his life, as everyone knows, including his family, who he loved very much. Steve always said that he was lucky to find Kim, and that they made a great team together. I know he loved you very much, and Steve was very proud of Ryan and James, and he was very happy with the path you guys are heading in with your lives. I can only imagine the pain that you guys are going through, and I hope that with time, the memories and stories of Steve will replace that pain in your heart. I know Steve was had a very strong faith, and I'm confident one day I will see him again. I love you guys very much.
Whenever my mom
Dad would always respond, "It's not love." And then I loved it. Besides actually being here and hanging out with us, I think a bunch of people in a room talking about how great he is the next best thing. It's really hard losing your dad, or friend, or husband, or son, or brother. There's a hole in my heart that is never going to be filled. My dad is a really special person. I can't think of a better person to look up to. His calm during challenging times, his way of making friends with anyone and everyone, his frankness when calling you on your bull, his boldness when spitting his own bull, his appreciation of a good jam, his love for his friends, his devotion to my mother, his admiration for his mother, his strictness in raising us, his flexibility in raising us, his open-mindedness, his storytelling, his belief in second chances, his confidence. That's the thing I loved and respected the most about him. That is what I'm going to remember the most about him. That is what's going to inspire me going forward. My dad was confident in himself, and he was also confident in others. My dad was a man who knew who he was and what he wanted. It's easy to just know that, but he really walks the walk. If he set his mind to do something, he was going to do it. A true go-getter was always comfortable in his own skin. He'd say, just get it done. On the surface, that doesn't really mean anything, or maybe just seems really obvious. But to me, when he said that, it meant enough talking, planning, reevaluating, replanning, just go and see what happens. In his most recent job, he did a lot of interviewing, and he was telling me he would always ask, when you're going to cut a piece of wood, do you measure once and cut, or do you measure twice and cut? He said everyone always got it wrong, and would say that he measured twice. That what ends up happening is you get a bunch of people passing the ruler around, and everyone's too afraid to pick up the saw. My dad always encouraged us to try, make a mistake, learn from it, and do better. He brought that out in me. I think that is why he was such a natural leader. He gave people the confidence to try, and maybe stumble, or maybe succeed, with the understanding that he'd be there to help you up or high-five you. The reason so many people are here today is not because he was a cool dude, that may be smart, but also because he believed in you. He expected you to do the right thing because he knew you could do it. That's why the last couple months have been so hard for me to watch. To see a person who did his whole life have all of that taken away was beyond heartbreaking. I don't think I'd be able to get up here and talk without having had him as my father, and thinking about what he would do. We can all do what we should do. We do need to spend some time talking and reflecting about him and his life. But thinking about him and what he wants, really, we should go out and do things that he loved in his memory. Go on a fishing trip and not catch anything. Feel free to invite me and James. Make a killer playlist for the occasion. Talk some trash in the fantasy football league. Set up the teams and the rules in your favor. Eat enough crabs to actually be full. Buy some speakers at a garage sale. The heavier the better. Give someone a second chance. Look for the best in your friend, coworker, family member, even a stranger. Welcome someone new. Take care of your mom. Believe in your kids. And love your wife. Thank you everyone for being here. We couldn't have gotten through the last few weeks without your help, and we'll need you in the days that lie ahead.
I imagine many of you also could hear some of these things that have been said, that these folks who have spoken have heard from Steve's mouth, and you also could hear them from his life, because even if he didn't say those specific things to you, you knew that he lived those things also. Well, Ryan and James and the family put together some slides, some pictures of Steve's life for us to just be able to sit and look at for a bit now, just to share some memories and that.
get the gist of it, but it's alright. Sorry that you feel that way. The only thing there is to say, every silver lining's got a touch of gray. I will get by. I will get by. I will get by. I will survive. It's a lesson to me. The evils and the bakers and the seeds. The ABCs we all must face. Try to keep a little grace. It was a beautiful day, sun beat down. I had the radio on, I was driving. Trees went by, me and Del were singing Little Runaway. I was flying, yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, running down a dream. I felt so good, like anything was possible. Hit cruise control and rubbed my eyes. The last 3 days, and the rain was unstoppable. It was always cold, no sunshine. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream. I rolled on, the sky grew dark. I put the pedal down to make some time. There's something good waiting down this road. I'm picking up whatever's mine. I'm running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream. Yeah, I'm running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. I'm running down a dream. never cares if you're there or not there. All you ever needed was a simple plan. But you're doing well, I mean you're not dead. So let's celebrate while we still can. I know what they say, I could give a care. They talk so much on me, I must be doing something right. I saw my son today in the likeness of a full-grown man. So I'll celebrate while I still can. Ooh, on a clear day you can see West LA, even downtown. I remember when I couldn't even see the point of stepping out the motherfucking house. Let it go, 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 let it go. So fixing the truth from two, we came too far. How many others have walked the same ground you have? You'd be wise to pay attention to your old head. I spent the whole day throwing records in the deep.
Every day's not Valentine's, but you make it feel like most of the time. When I'm all alone with you, picking up pieces of my life, sometimes there's ones I just can't find, but they found a home with you. Whoa, I'm not afraid to be alone, but being alone is better with you. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days, life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days, life is better with you. Life is better. Tell me what you want, I'll give you all that you need, with my heart in my hand, saying please, baby, please, because nobody does that thing you do better than you. And thoughts still swim around in my head of all the words that we ever said. My favorites remain, I love you. Whoa, I'm not afraid to be alone, but being alone is better with you. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better. Every day's not Valentine's, but you make me feel it most of the time with you. You. And all my life I've tried to find the one who makes me feel the way you do. You. Some days are better than other days, but these days life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa.
Well, I want to offer two words of hope. And that is, again, coming from Jesus the last night of his life. After he'd said all those things to prepare his friends, his followers, for what life was going to be like without him being with them, he said, I've said these things to you so that you will have peace in me. In the world, you will have distress, but be encouraged. I have conquered the world. That's Jesus' words to us. I think Steve's message would not be too dissimilar from that. In this world, you will have distress, but be encouraged. I have conquered the world. Steve lived like he conquered the world, and as it was said, when the rules didn't seem to go that way, we changed it so that they worked out that way. But what God offers us on a moment like today is more than just, hey, be optimistic, things will work out, it's just the way it is, keep pressing on. God does say that to us, but he also says, in this world you will have distress, but take heart because I have overcome the world and I do offer you hope, not only to get through today, not only to wake up tomorrow morning, but that when our life on here is done, it's not done for us. That's something that Jesus offers. And so one of the ways to, as Ryan and James said, to make a mistake and learn from it and go forward, one of the ways that we can find redemption or good that comes out of something as tragic as Steve's life and our days without him is to say, how have I been living my life? Now, given this moment, given this recognition that we are mortal and our life may not be as long as we've been counting on, how will I live my life? Can we take this moment and say, I want to think about things and do things differently because of this lesson that Steve has given me, even at this point in my life. And ultimately, it's a matter of when we look to ourselves as a solution, as the answer for all things, or we look to God, who is the author of life and has made us to live eternally with him. That everything that we've done that's estranged us from God, as in any good relationship, can be forgiven if we desire to go forward in a better relationship. That's an opportunity that we have today. So the last scripture passage I'll read is from the book of Hebrews, which says, therefore, since the promise of eternal rest, it may not have been Steve's highest value, he was having fun, right? During his life, he was having fun. It was eternal fun, which is good too. But yeah, these past 6 weeks or 8 weeks, rest was an awfully good thing to be able to look forward to. Since the promise of eternal rest still stands, let us be careful that none of you may be found to have fallen short of it. For we also had the gospel preached to us, just as others did, but the message they heard was of no value to them, because those who heard it did not combine it with faith. The gospel, the good news, is that God offers us eternal life, and yet God's word says that somehow what makes it efficacious or valuable or effective or relevant for us is if we combine it with faith. Faith that there is better, that God intends better for us than merely this world has to offer. That God intends for us more than whether it's 56 years or 26 years or 86 years, that God intends for us something better. Do we have that faith? Can we humbly say, thank you, Lord, for all the goodness that I've experienced in this life. Thank you, Lord, for Steve's life. But if you have made me to live forever, then I will accept that as a gracious gift. Well, the last thing that I want us to do today is pray again. And we said before, we prayed Thanksgiving for Steve's life, but it's also appropriate for us as we're gathered here. We've come here not only for ourselves, but we came here to support Kim and Ryan and James and Eve and other members of the family. So whether you've prayed in the last 10 years or not, this is an opportunity to to silently pray God's comfort for these friends and these family members. As Steve leaves a void in all of our lives, we know that some have more bigger void than others. So let's take a moment now and again pray in your silent prayer, knowing that God hears you. Whether you've prayed recently or not, God will hear you now as you pray for your friends, Steve's family and friends. Let us pray again. Hear us, Lord, though our words may not be eloquent, though we don't know all the answers. Hear us as we silently pray your comfort on Kim and Ryan, James, and Eve, and Bruce, all of Steve's family. Lord, I also would pray that Steve's friends who are here, that are sitting right next to us, would receive, or standing right next to us, would receive your comfort. And lastly, Lord, you know our hearts, where we have pain. Walk with us in it. Where we have emptiness, be with us in it. Give us faith, give us hope, and give us love. So we pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Well, before we conclude, I do want to further that invitation by saying if any of you are not part of a house of worship, not part of a local expression of the family of God, you are certainly welcome here at Evergreen Church. Again, I'm Chip Kiesler, I serve as a pastor of the church. There are several other members of the church who are here, but I would invite you to come and ask me about the church if you'd like to. We meet here Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock and other times throughout the week to encourage one another through prayer, through study the Bible, through just sharing life together. Well, as a family that already want to thank you for being here and pray that this has been a blessing in your life. And it doesn't end here. There's a wonderful reception that Steve's friends have set up outdoors in the fellowship area here, out underneath the tent. What a gorgeous day that the Lord has given us on this late October day to enjoy that. And there's information there as well, even after things leave here, so they can meet downtown at a spot to continue to share memories and life with one another. Hear that these words of committal and benediction. As our loving and almighty God has already received unto himself Steve's spirit, we tenderly commit his body to the ground, earth to earth, and ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. But Steve's spirit we commend to God, into whose very hands Jesus commended his own spirit. Now to the one who is able to keep you from falling, and to make you stand in the presence of God's glory, blameless and with great joy. To the only God, our Savior, through Jesus Christ our Lord, be all glory, majesty, dominion, and power, before all time, now and forever. Amen. Kim and this family is going to have a sort of a receiving line. I know many of you want to be able to talk with them. They may greet people for a while and then take a break. If you can stick around, you'll have a chance then. Thank you again all for being here. Some of you were wanting to sign a book earlier. If you haven't done that and want to do that, don't forget to do that before you leave. Also, there were some activities, some opportunities for you to share some memories about the fellowship center. Take a look at some of those opportunities. There are refreshments here and the opportunities for us to stick around, have a good time together. There'll be music playing outside. Anything else, Ryan or James, that you want to share? Okay. Thank you all for being here. Go in peace.